All right, peace and love, family. Welcome back to the Hope, the HOPE, helping our people elevate. If you're new here, hit that button. If you return, as I always say, welcome back, family. If you don't mind, brother, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are and where you're from.
What up, what up? Hey, y'all. My name is Marcus Ligons Jr., and I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. 918-74106.
What part of Tulsa did you grow up in? And how would you describe your upbringing there?
Oh, man, I'm a north side baby. I'm a north side of Thug Town, man. Man, the upbringing was lovely, man. I grew up Walt Whitman right off Trey 9. I can't really complain about that. Life was good. Uh, you know, the neighborhood at a young age, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. A lot of people, a lot of kids running around, just normal fun upbringing, basketball every day, doing chores, cutting yards, the whole nine. It wasn't too crazy as a youngster, as a real young at least.
So, what kind of things did you see or experience that really shaped who you became?
Oh man, seeing my mom and dad, them working every day, you know what I mean? And then on the flip side, going out and seeing the world and seeing, reality of what came with the world and, my neighborhood, the people who was successful on the other side of life, all the temptations, all my family members, it was just, it was kind of a balance. I saw the good and the bad. So, that kind of I got influenced by both, to be honest.
Do you feel like Tulsa gave you opportunities or did it feel limited?
Uh, Honestly, I do feel like it felt limited, but as far as opportunities, I feel like Tulsa set the foundation. You know what I mean? It made me who I am, so I got to give Tulsa the credit for that. Because without that, you wouldn't be able to see the opportunities or have a foundation to move forward with them. But I do feel like once I moved on from Tulsa, I realized how kind of far back Tulsa was compared to the rest of the world, and a lot more opportunities in a lot of different things was out there in different places that I traveled to.
Who are some of your biggest influences growing up?
Oh man, my mom and dad, of course, they were my first influences because that's who I saw. My little sister, we were just a tight family. My cousins, all my friends and family, they were influencing me like crazy. But as far as in the world, as you can see, Bone Thugs and Harmony, that was like, I either wanted to be a rapper or a basketball player. So I would say like Allen Iverson
Hmm.
and Bone Thugs was like huge influences in my life when I was young. Until I realized I wasn't gonna grow no more. I was only gonna be 5'7", so basketball was out. That's when I started pursuing music.
When you look back now, what were some of the struggles in Tulsa of life versus the positives?
Say that again.
When you look back now, you know what I mean, some of the struggles as far as like in Tulsa versus the positives. You know, you've traveled, so you've got to see more opportunities from it. What are some of the things that you know what I'm saying, we struggle with here in Tulsa versus the positivity that you've seen?
I mean, first and foremost, I feel like I don't think it's enough outlets to mainstream media. I don't think it's enough people of influence coming to Tulsa and really looking at the talent in Tulsa and helping us out with getting people from Tulsa to other places. And I
Hmm.
feel like Tulsa and kind of Oklahoma itself, they don't really come together a lot. It's a lot of people that's just trying to. Everybody want to be the man, but nobody wants to put in the work and
Hmm.
and help each other out and really come together, put their money together, put their egos aside, put they, you know, reputations or whatever it is that's holding them back. Everybody just wants to be that. Nobody wants to really build anything with everybody else. And until they realize that you got to come together and you got to outsource, and it takes more than one person to build, build an empire. I think we still gonna struggle with that.
If someone was to ask you to describe the Tulsa culture, you know what I'm saying, during your teenage years, what would you say?
Man, I would have said it's the best culture in the world, man. Like we had a little bit of everything. I mean, I done been a lot of places, and I could still say I would have rather grew up in Tulsa than anywhere else. I mean, just from our vibe, I feel like if you can make it in Tulsa, you can make it in anywhere. We have a real adaptive nature, and it don't matter whether you take us to the Grammys, to the hood, to the no matter where at, what social circle, no matter what demographic, we just adapt, and I don't know. It's just something about it. It's a melting pot of survival.
That's real. Yeah, we can adapt anywhere we go. But what made you decide to leave and move to California?
Man, um, to be honest, it was just a lot of death and a lot of me seeing the lack of opportunities. And when I got the opportunity to go to California, I just wanted to see something different. I wanted to see what was really out there. And once I got there, I was so glad I went.
Hmm.
And it opened up my eyes to what's really going on and what we could actually bring back and what we should be doing in Oklahoma. So it definitely, it was just curiosity at first, but it definitely was well worth it.
Was it hard leaving family and friends behind?
Not at that time, only because I was just fed up and needed something new, something different. It wasn't like I had to leave or nothing like that. I just wanted to see, wanted to live somewhere different, do something different, and I got that opportunity, and I went. But like I said, after I went, I was glad I did, because for a short period of time I came back because I was missing home so much.
Hmm.
That's actually what brought me back to Oklahoma, was just as much as I was having fun and enjoying life and learning and growing, I just had Tulsa so deeply rooted in me that I came back. And that's when I realized, man, it just made me look at Tulsa way differently when I came back. Way, way different.
Yeah, I've experienced that as far as in my travels, going to Memphis, going to Texas, going to Florida, being in Los Angeles, just traveling and then coming back. Even I mean, you can see, yeah, you can see a big difference. How did your people react when you told them you were leaving the first time?
Um, I mean, everybody that they was all happy for me, because I mean, I try to keep genuine people around me, and I feel like most of the people that was around me really wanted to see me succeed,
Hmm.
and they kind of knew. It was almost like the direction I was going and things that I was trying to do. I was hitting the ceiling in Tulsa, and they, some of them may even knew it more than before I did. That going out there was going to help me to kind of spread my wings and grow. So most of the people was real happy for me. As far as I know, you never know
Hmm.
what people thinking behind the scenes, but at least in my face, everybody was happy for me. So definitely commend that.
Tell me a little bit of like what was the transition like? You know what I mean, going from the Tulsa lifestyle to California living.
Oh man, Cali was Cali was like all gas, no brakes, but in an entertainment direction, and also in just a fast paced street direction. I mean, I was kind of, you know, I've always been tied to all type of different things. I went out there as an aircraft mechanic, so I
Hmm.
was working on planes during the daytime, but then at night I I was doing entertainment, so I had my artists out there, and we was, I think I hit like 13 red carpets in like the first 3 months I was out there. I mean, we was moving, we was moving fast, we was meeting people and networking like crazy, and it was just, it was, it was a time of, just open up my eyes. I said like that, man. It was the best thing ever happened to me, but you know. I miss Cali. I say it like that, man. I miss Cali. I try to go out back as often as possible, but between that traffic, man, and so, I don't know. Vegas was a better choice for me once I finally settled in.
When you made that transition, even in Vegas, you know what I mean, what were some of the biggest challenges, you know what I'm saying, you had to face making that move?
Uh, Not being home. I mean, getting out of your comfort zone. That's. I get it why people stay in their comfort zone. To be honest, I mean, it takes a strong person to get out of your comfort zone. But I mean, I think that's a life hack. Everybody should get out of their hometown and live, at least 2 or 3 states away for some period of time in their lifetime, because it just opens up your world to something new, and shows you, what more is out there. So yeah. But yeah, just getting out of the comfort zone, and just learning how to, be more independent by myself. Uh,
Hmm.
you know, just get out here and get it.
What would you say the biggest difference between Tulsa, and, you know what I mean, and living in Vegas or California? What's the biggest?
Uh, I mean, it's bigger traps, it's bigger pitfalls, it's bigger statistics. You know what I mean? But the Tulsa, you kind of grow up in it, so you don't really notice it. I mean, most people who have the most trouble in Tulsa are the people who come from somewhere else and go to Tulsa,
Hmm.
because it's so small and so tight knit. If you ain't just out there doing nothing foul, you can survive in Tulsa. But when you come out here to these bigger cities, you know, we it's just a lot to fall into that you don't know and you haven't been around. You kind of got to get real acclimated to where you at in your surroundings and stuff. But it's just so much more to do and so many more opportunities if you focus on the right things and you trying to do what's right and you really trying to elevate. You can block all that out, and just focus on what you need to. As far as in Tulsa, you in my opinion, you can't really do that. Like, it's hard. It's hard to block it all out when all your family and friends and everybody around you, your whole neighborhood, your whole side of the whole north side, you go outside, the whole south side, everybody just
Hmm.
going through it, and problems every day, and just, drugs and gang banging and just tight knit problems. You know what I mean? That's just, as soon as you walk out the door, it's everyday things. It ain't really like that in these bigger cities. You can kind of navigate around that if you choose to.
And like you said, it's tight knit here. So, like you said, as soon as you walk out the door, that's all you see.
Yeah.
You
You
know.
go you hit Quick Trip, you bound to see some things. You bound to see somebody fighting. You bound to see some gang banging. You bound to see something. You kind of gotta go to where it's at out here. You know what I mean? If that's the lifestyle you choose. But I don't know.
So how are the people different? You know what I mean, the culture and the way of life.
Uh, it's crazy, but it's only, in my opinion, it's only like two types of people out here in
Hmm.
these big cities. It's either the people that recognize the opportunities and they really go getters and they go for it, or the people that take that for granted and they just don't. And I was surprised to see how many people out here, look at me and see how fast I progressed, and like, how did you do that, or what are you doing? I've been living out here all my life, and I haven't been able to get in these rooms or talk to these people, or get in, these circles. And I'm like, well, you just said it. You've been out here all your life. What you been doing? You know what I mean? Like, you had a advantage over me. I came out here after I was over 30 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just kind of a perspective thing. It let me know that we grind different, and we really trying to move forward.
Since moving, you know what I mean, has your mental outlook changed on life compared to when you were in Tulsa? I guess
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
the
as
question
far
to
as
get.
growth, yeah, like I'm at this point, I'm trying to the things that I used to look up to and the things that I used to, really, really hold dear to me,
Hmm.
don't bother me no more. I'm, growing old, you know, having kids and taking care of my kids and becoming a multi-millionaire and having financial literacy, leaving, generational wealth. That's the things that I think about now. I used to think about, just street cred and you know, your name living on in the streets and just how everybody else thought of me pretty much.
Hmm.
And now it's more of I, I don't ever want to get in trouble no more. I don't ever want to see no courtroom again. I don't ever want to see no judge. I don't ever want to see the police if I don't have to. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to get into another fight. I don't ever want to, you know what I mean? Like I don't want no negativity around me if I don't have to. You know, that's to me to enjoy life, having peace and having happiness and having, like I said, just getting wealthy. That's really the only things that's on my mind now. Like, and it wasn't. I didn't realize how much it wasn't when I was younger.
Hmm. What are some things you miss the most about the town?
I mean, always family and friends, and just the familiarity with where you grew up. You know what I mean? That's home. I don't care as much as I like Cali, Vegas. I don't care if I go to Maui, Fiji, wherever I go. Home is home. You know what I mean? And that's just like it's a love that you can't change. That's home.
When you look back, you know what I'm saying, what lessons did Tulsa teach you that will stick with you all the way till today or forever?
Uh, the biggest lesson it taught me was when I came back and I looked around. It was, you know, don't fall back into this and try to teach as many people as you can and help out as many people as you can not to fall into the pitfalls of Tulsa and to strive to do better so you can bring it back and actually make that change. You know what I mean? A lot of people talk about making a change, but then they don't have the resources or the means or the voice to do it. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm striving for is to really, you know, level up so I can be one of those changes and or at least come back and help impact that change.
Right, right, right. So, what have you learned since moving to California and Vegas that you wish you would have knew earlier in life?
Uh that is it is possible, and just the fact that like I said, I don't know what it was, but it was just an enlightenment. Everybody says, hey, I want to be this or I want to be that. I want to be successful.
Hmm.
And I think everybody genuinely wants it, but it's a different thing when it clicks and it's like, I can really do this. Like, I'm, you know, I mean, I've been in meetings with Shaquille O'Neal, like I never thought I'd be in an actual business meeting talking business with somebody like that. I
Right,
never thought I would be doing certain things that, I'm doing now. I got my own business. I'm teaching now. I'm doing a lot of different stuff that I never thought I would do. But I mean, and it's crazy because when I come home, I kind of fall right back into the same stuff, but I do have a different mentality about it because my family and friends are still there. So when I come home, it's almost like I still get to be me and I get a part of the old me, but I've changed so much. I don't want the problems and the negative stuff that came with that.
that leads me into my next question. I got a few more before we wrap it up. And I mean, if you could speak to the youth in Tulsa right now, what message would you give them?
Uh, to really focus on education. Especially my young black youth that's in poverty. I would tell them to look up to the people. I'm not telling them not to look up to today family members or people here and there, but don't give so much praise to the streets and the people coming out of the penitentiary as much as you do the people that's graduating college and that's going off to be doctors and lawyers. And everything ain't got to be about just sports. Everything ain't got to be just about rapping or nothing like that. You
Mhm.
can be successful, and I promise you that taking the taking the quote unquote nerd route or the route of education and trying to move forward and be better with your life, you're gonna do 10 times better later in life than these people that are glorifying the drugs and getting on drugs or going to the penitentiary and getting all these felonies and racking them up. If you can stay out of that and really just stay straight, it it'll benefit you so much more, because it's a system they got us caught in. And I'm not, I understand both sides of it, but to me, we got to change the narrative for the youth and
Mhm.
really give them a chance because it's just a cycle that, you know, I, I still got family and friends that's going through it, and been through it. And I don't know. It's just, man,
What advice would you give to anyone thinking about leaving their hometown to chase their opportunities?
go. You'll never have enough money. You'll never have enough time. It'll never be the right time. You'll never have enough money. It'll never be the perfect situation to leave. But as soon as you got, you know, you just got to kind of jump on faith and go. At the end of the day, if you really want to do it and you really gonna do it, don't keep second guessing yourself and then, trying to wait for the right time or the right. It normally don't happen like that. You gotta get out there and get it. You gotta believe that you can make it. And when you get there, you gotta really use all your resources and every ounce of, your brain you got to make it. But
Mhm.
if you do it the right way, you normally can make it. But I think so many people are scared because they waiting because they feel like they don't have the right amount of money or something keeps happening in their life and it's not the right time. It's always gonna be something going on. It's
Mhm.
always going. It's never gonna be the right time to leave. You know what I mean? You're gonna keep making excuses. So you just gotta just up and do it.
Yeah, because every 10 years something change, and if you ain't made it, if you ain't did it and you still waiting, they gonna leave you behind. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to jump on when it's time.
Exactly. Exactly.
When it's all said and done, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? You know what I mean, for your family, the children. You know what I mean, for anybody that know you.
I mean, we all want to be remembered. My, I mean, I can't really say because I don't feel like your legacy is completed until you're done with life. Hopefully, I'm here for a long time. I'm still working on my legacy. You know what I mean? So I can't
Mhm.
really say exactly what I want it to be. But of course, I just wanted to be. I want to be remembered, especially for helping my hometown. I look at like Black Wall Street. If you see how it's remembered and
Mhm.
what those people did, I would like my name to be as remembered and as prestigious as that. And that's kind of the only thing I could think of that makes it similar of what I really would want.
Before we wrap this thing up, do you have any shout outs that you want to give before we wrap? You know what I mean, before we go?
Oh man, of course, man. Like I said, I want to give a shout out to my mom and dad. Always, I appreciate them. I want to give a shout out to my little sister. She's killing the game right now at their United. I want to give a shout out to the whole North Side, to my block, Trey Nine, Walt Whitman, um, everybody in North Tulsa, South Tulsa, West Tulsa, East Tulsa. I love y'all, and I really do this no matter where I go, what I do. Tulsa's in my heart. So yeah, you know. That's where I show my love to. And God, I always give it up for God,
Indeed. Now, my last question: you got anything that you're working on right now, or goals that you want the people to know about?
Um, yeah, I'm definitely working on some stuff. Not necessarily nothing that I want people to know about, only because, you know, man, people use what you working on. The more information they got, sometimes they can
Mm.
use it against you. But just know, like I said, my goal is to be, a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire. That's what I'm working on, and I'm working very diligently to do that. So, and not only that, I'm working on bringing stuff back to Tulsa. Hopefully, within the next 5 years, I'll be in a position to really do that, and people will start seeing me a lot more often in a positive way, and I'll be able to do some stuff and make a change at home. So, yeah.